Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Data Science with Yash. And in today's video, we are going to solve one of the most common interview question, that is how to check if a number is prime number or not using Python. So before we dive into the code, so let's first understand what a prime number is. So a prime number is a number which is greater than 1 and that can only be divided by 1 and itself. So in simple terms, we can tell that a prime number can only be divided evenly by 1 and the number itself. So for example, the numbers like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and so on. So these are all prime numbers because they are not divisible by anything other than 1 and that number itself. So on the other hand, the numbers like 4, 6, 8, 9, and 12 are not prime because they can be divided by other numbers like the 2, 3, and 4. Clear? So let's understand the code now. So let's look how we can check if a number is prime number or not. So firstly, we start by asking the user to input a number using input function. So this is the code. We ask the user to sorry, enter a number using this input function, and then we try to convert that into integer, because when a user enters it initially it will be in a string format, but later in order to convert we use the typecasting int function in order to convert it into int, and then we store it in the variable called n. We are storing that particular number in variable n. Clear? Then we initialize a variable count and set it to 0. This is the variable count which we will be setting it to 0. What this will do is this will keep the track of whether the number is divisible by any number other than 1 and itself. Like if let's say if we are getting a count of 1, so that means it is not a prime number. Uh, because so we use a prime number to check the divisibility from 2 to n minus 1 itself from and 2 to 1, right? N minus so 1. When we are setting the prime numbers are 0, only divisible by 1 and themselves, so this will keep a track of whether the number is divisible if n by is divisible by any other number between 2 to n minus 1. Clear? So in this line, and this line checks if n modulus or percentage I double equals to 0. This checks if n is divisible by I without a reminder, without any reminder. If it is, that means n is not a prime number. If and then we increment the count by 1 and exit the loop with a break statement. I think this sounds to be confusing, but I'll try to explain you line by line, understanding the logic and all once we complete this code. So we increment the count by 1 and exit the loop with a break statement. So after the loop, we check the value of count, and if it is still 0, it means the number is not divisible by any number between 2 and minus 1, and then we can declare it as the number is a prime number. Clear? And if the count is greater than 1, we found at least, let's say we have found at least one divisor in between 2 to n minus 1, that means it is not a prime number. Clear? So let's check on a number. We know that 4 is not a prime number because we have in between 2 to n minus 1, in between 2 to 3 we have 2 is divisible by 4, and which gives the remainder as 0, so it is not a prime number. So you can see that the number is not a prime number. And let's say we have given example 7 is a prime number, right? So between 2 to n minus 1, that is 2 to 6, we don't have any division like anything, any number which is exactly divisible, the 1 and itself, the 1 and 7. So this should be a prime number. Let's check with the code. So the given number is a prime number. Clear? So we'll try to understand the same concept, understand line by line the logic, how it is working in the backend and all, right? So yes, so let us try to understand step by step. So the very first step is first line of code. What you're doing is we have taken let's say we have taken a number 4 which will be initially there in the string format, and then we are trying to convert it into integer using this int function. Clear? So using this int function we are sorry using this int function we are converting it into integer. So next we are writing count, we are setting the initial count as 0 as 0. So next, for I in range of 2 comma n is nothing but 4, right? So if 4 percentage I starts with 2 double equals to 0, this condition is true, right? So 2 is less than 4, which means it is true, and it enters inside this body of for loop, right? So, and if 4 modulus percentage 2 double equals to 0, if this condition is true, then it goes inside this if statement. So this is also true, right? So when we are dividing 2 with 4, we are getting a remainder of as 0. So this condition is also true. So it what it does is count, we increment the count by 1, count plus 1, count initially we have 0, so plus 1. Clear? And then we break this statement. Why do we break this statement is because we don't need to check further numbers, because we got at least one such divisor which is there in between 2 to n minus 1, that is in between 2 and 3 we have one divisor. So this is not a prime number. So now the break statement, what it does is, so for loop, here we have this for loop, so this now goes out of this break statement, will come out of this for loop, and it will try to execute these line of codes. So if count double equals to 0, the given number is a prime number, but this is not the case, right? So we got a count of 1, so it will execute this else statement, and the given number is not a prime number. So we know that the 4 is not a prime number, so this is something which is going to be executed. So we'll try to understand the same with taking an example of prime number. So, or let me write here. So let's say, just a second. So let's say I've taken n equals to, let's say, 5. So initially into string, and then we are trying to convert it to integer, and then we are storing it in the variable called n, and we set the count equals to 0 itself, 0. And next, similarly, for I in range of 2 comma 5, this time it's 5. So this is also true, right? This condition is true, so it goes inside this for loop. Since 2 is less than 5, this is true, so this goes inside the for loop. Next, if statement, if n 5 percentage I starts with 2 double equals to 0, so this condition is false. Clear? So it will not go inside this if statement, it will again go back to this for loop, and then it checks for, now 2 is done, and then we also need to check for 5 percentage 2 double equals to, sorry, 5 percentage 3 double equals to 0, this is also false. And similarly 5 percentage 4 double equals to 0, this is also false. And then when it comes to this is basically between 2 to n minus 1, right? We need to check till n minus 1, we already checked it till here. So next, for I in the range of 5, let's say 5 is less than 5, which is false. So what happens here in this case is, it goes outside of this for loop, it goes outside of the for loop and try to execute this if count double equals to 0, it prints the given number is prime. Number is prime number. Clear? This is how it works. So we got a count as 0 itself, right? We didn't get any division. There is no such case where the condition is getting satisfied or it is going inside this if statement in order to increment the count. Clear? So that is the reason it is executing this if statement itself. So if count double equals to 0, the given number is prime number. Clear? So that's it for today's tutorial on checking the prime numbers. I hope this video helped you understand both the concept of the prime numbers and how do we implement the solution in Python. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Data Science with Yash. So if you have any questions or doubts, leave a comment below or reach out to me on social media. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.